Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Sherwood.
Hey, Aaron.
Haha, you actually picked up for
Aaron
once.
Scott Eads.
Oh, you actually remembered my middle name. You know, I was curious if you would remember my middle name.
I've talked about it several times.
To who?
To you. What are you, a Scott?
No, not. How dare you? This is, I think, episode 3 or 4 of this podcast.
Oh, this is a series?
Yeah, we've done multiple podcasts throughout the
Remember.
years. We've done a couple that were just like random podcasts we recorded. This isn't like the anime
I don't
podcast
see
or
any
whatever.
pictures on the screen, so...
We don't need pictures for the audio portion. Pictures are for the editing.
I mean, that'd be nice if I had something to look at.
You do. My face as we're conversing.
Ugh.
What the fuck does
It's
that
more
mean?
like, I wish in just like normal conversations when people are talking about stuff, well, just flash something up on a screen. Oh, you know what I'm talking about? It's right here. I mean, I
What
guess you could do
screen?
it with a phone,
Yeah.
but it takes so
What
long
are you talking about?
to get out there.
So, we've been away for a while from the YouTube. We came back. We did those streams the other day. They weren't very good.
I was there.
I think the Tekken one was okay. I think Tekken was okay as it went on.
Not too hard to play and talk. At
That
the
was
same
the
time.
problem.
I was doing pretty good.
We got too serious about the game, and then people were in the chat, so it was like I wasn't really playing Tekken. That was just interfacing with people.
People in the chat just taking up your brain power.
Yeah, because I had answers.
All that stimulating conversation.
All that stimulating conversation.
Ton-
Lom Clomp.
Trannies.
Not another reviewers. All right. For the record, for you and not another reviewer, because not everyone knows this.
What?
Tranny is an offensive word.
Oh, I know it. But what am I supposed to say?
All right, transgender
Wait,
or transsexual.
What are you talking about?
Just the use of the word tranny
No,
is.
when you use the word tranny, what are you
I don't
thinking
use
about?
the word tranny.
Okay, what word do you use? Transsexual, a transgender,
Transgendered, or
individual?
usually I just say trans. If they are explicitly a trans person, yeah. I'm not super persnickety about this. It is a rough climate we're in, and I want people to not get in trouble.
I'm
Is
just
the thing.
curious if like.
And you can get in trouble real quick for minor misspeaking nowadays. So just for future reference, tranny is probably a no word.
I'm just curious if it's like we're talking about people, or like people we look at in porn.
Whoa.
Sexual interest, right?
Alright, so the people in porn that you're looking at.
When-
Alright.
When I go to Google, what do you think I'm typing in?
Okay. So
What should I ask Google?
porn is a weird thing. This is just right into a topic I have actual thoughts about. Porn is a very weird thing with offensive words.
Twinks.
Because offensive words will remain tags for way after they're like not socially acceptable to say.
Cucks. Cuckold.
Cuck is that is not that is not at all the thing. Cuckold porn is exactly what it is. That's not interfering with the use of the word cuck at all. What I'm talking about is stuff. I had an example, but I forgot it.
About cucks?
No, specifically ebony.
Oh yeah.
Ebony is the tag for African American women or black women or whatever.
You can say it's a safe space.
It's a safe space. And that is, by a lot of people's accounts, very offensive term for black people. So,
I'm black.
and it's a lot of things, in porn, you can get away with saying a lot more things. I'm an expert in this for my erotic authorhood pursuits. And, like, you can just say fag a lot in that. And you can't say it in almost any other
Fag
medium.
has almost no meaning to me now, because you've been saying it so much.
I'm a big fan of the word.
And you're gay, so...
I'm not... Alright, see, when you're saying it on recording, I'm bisexual.
You're an authority on
I'm an
the
authority
subject.
on this subject, and I'm authority on a lot of things. And yeah, porn is a weird thing. So, like, because people care less about sensitivity there and more about, I just want the thing I want. So, saying,
porn.
tranny porn...
Jerk into it.
Tranny porn is a thing...
Doesn't sound good, yeah.
It doesn't sound good at all!
I mean, there's some alternate terms you can use.
Yeah, but you might not get the
Female.
same thing.
Lady boy.
You might not get the same thing you want because people are weird about that and they just put in the thing everyone knows. Oh, this is one of them tranny porns. You gotta think like the scumbag.
Well, I think when people say it aloud, it conjures up, like older not so good stuff. Where these days, I got all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit rough. But you gotta get in the mindset of the guy that's the skeevy, balding guy that's putting it up there. That's publishing this.
Wait, why is he skeevy and bald?
Because he's the guy publishing porn. What do you expect?
Bald is part of that?
Usually.
Typical
skeevy guy, balding or bald. One of the two. You gotta get in that mindset of
smoother, the top of his head or his dick in his hand?
Both.
He's always jerking it.
They're both. And, well...
He's always polishing his
jerking
head.
His dick would give him hairy palms. Hairier than his head. So his head...
The friction would burn it off.
His head would be hairier. Because it has, like, trace remnants. I shave it all off.
If I was growing hair on the inside of my hands, I would wax it off.
I just shave, honestly.
You shave your hands?
Well, yeah, it's just like...
Doesn't it grow back thicker?
No, that's a misnomer. That's bullshit.
Really? But doesn't your hair grow back thinner when it's waxed?
I don't know.
That's what I heard.
I'm very unclear on waxing. But I know that the thing with the shaving will grow back thicker, that's all bullshit. That just means it'll grow back into the same length as it all is. Because if things are growing in, then things will grow in at different lengths.
The only way
but if you shave it all down, it'll grow in at the same length.
Is to take two identical twin boys, and they're like 12 or 13.
Why they gotta be boys?
Because they can grow facial hair at a higher rate than women normally do.
Okay.
Right? For the purpose of this experiment. And then one of them we let shave.
Sexist 101.
One of them we let shave, and one of them we don't. They can't ever shave. And then we'll just see how their hair goes.
I'm drinking King Cobra. It's a premium malt liquor.
Could barely hear that. How will they know how refreshing it is?
It's not refreshing at all. It's pretty shitty, honestly. I'm not a fan.
When I think refreshing, I think you're drinking an ice cold lemonade. It's nice and sweet.
Refreshing to me is Mountain Dew. People fucking hate Mountain Dew. I am an unironic.
I don't hate it. I just like.
I have a thing of Mountain Dew right now. This is
another random flavor of soda.
Mountain Dew is my biggest vice in life.
Really?
I love Mountain Dew.
I guess that's a lot of people.
It's fuck ton of people. Mountain Dew's so popular.
I don't get it. I just don't have the tongue for it.
I love it.
It doesn't suit my configuration.
Yeah, it's like spicy food for me. It just doesn't. Nah, don't go.
Not even any level of spicy.
Alright, I can handle some spice, but
you're not like, ooh, spicy. Level 3.
Yeah, like I'm not looking to up the spice at any point in my life. I'm always thinking, can I handle this? Is this gonna be too much? At the lowest level. Spicy food does not agree with me.
I know someone complained they got pepper on their fries, which it normally came with, which wasn't a lot of pepper.
Who puts fucking pepper on fries?
Applebee's.
Fuck you, Applebee's.
Alright.
No!
The restaurant is, like, whatever.
You don't do that.
Well, you can request it, but you might not.
You put salt and pepper on, like, frozen fries that you're cooking.
Man, whatever.
You don't pepper regular fries at a restaurant.
What do you even use pepper for?
You use it to season shit you're cooking.
While you're cooking, you'll use it after.
No!
Like, it's not peppery enough.
Not at all. Never has that ever come to mind. I've been around people that put pepper on pizza, and it's like, what?
I don't know, that's a good idea.
What the fuck?
Hey, I use red pepper flakes. Those are great.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? Just eat the pizza, alright? This is why...
Dude, red pepper flakes are like giant pieces of pepper.
This is why my go-to pizza is pepperoni.
It's so boring sometimes.
Because you're always gonna be fine
pepperoni
with
pizza is like the missionary style of sex.
And everyone's gonna have pepperoni. No one's gonna be opposed to getting pepperoni.
Try something else sometimes.
I love other pizzas. My actual...
You like pizzas with vegetables on.
My favorite pizza is white sauce chicken with, like, garlic sauce.
Fuck you. That's not a pizza.
That is a fucking pizza and a half, and it's delicious.
That's the alternate color of a pizza.
Yeah, that's the alt costume. That's the palette swap, and I will take the fuck out of that every time. But my standard pizza is usually pepperoni because it's always going to be there. It's the same reason I preferred to drink black coffee, but gave me a stomach ache. Couldn't handle it.
Just drink less.
Well, no, it's the blackness of it. And I drink instant.
Drink a different brand, yeah.
different brand.
Did you pick the specific brand?
Yeah.
That literally every store carries?
No, we
Well, there
picked
you
the
go.
one that's very specific at only Fred Meyer's and is $1 cheaper than all of the other ones. And then, so I started putting milk in it, and that was okay. Like, that settled myself, because that's what I looked up and it said to do. But then, hey, turns out milk's really bad for you, and I'm trying to slim up.
As
I'm drinking
a 32 ounce.
A 40 and a 44 ounce of Mountain Dew. It was a rough day, busy schedule. This book is killing me. I'll talk about that later. What was I saying?
You're unhealthy.
I'm trying to be healthier. And Mom got soy milk, and that's like, I looked at all the shit in it, and it's like 1/10 as bad for you as just regular fucking milk. So I've been using that, and it's really good. I'm a big fan, but it has like estrogen or some shit in it, so it might be giving me big old tiggle bitties.
Yeah, I heard what that can do.
Yeah, but I don't drink very much of it. I put like a tiny bit just to get rid of that stomach ache thing in coffee that kills me.
Just a matcha chai.
Yeah. So I got a docket prepared. You go first.
I can't see it from over here.
All right, I can read off what we're on. It's fine.
Your little support beam is right in the middle of the text area.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. First question for you. What have you been up to in your personal life, unattached from me, this channel, or anything we do together?
It's just going to parks, reading books, throwing a frisbee around. It's pretty hot.
What books are you reading?
I just started one. I think I told you about it. It's about magic.
Alright, well, you may have told me, but you didn't tell the microphone!
Yeah, it's a pretty cool book. It's like there's a five-faced... Is that the one where each face has a certain amount of sides on a dice?
On a dice? I don't fucking know.
It's like a dice world, but each side has 5 faces, like pentagons. It's
That's
all
cool.
pentagons. And then one
concept.
side invades the other, and they take the royal children as hostages. And then 15 years later, they're all split up, and different shit's going on. And they got different gods.
Yeah.
The gods have like different abilities. Like the god of war, he gives you combat buffs. You can like transform. You can henshin into a giant monster man.
Mm-hmm.
And then like art shit. You're good at art. You make good art.
Oh, that's me right here.
Yeah, you would be that kind of guy.
Hell yeah.
You would write.
I write the great American novel.
People would like be dripping when they're reading your stories.
As they already do.
But like in a magical way.
Well, that's just unfair. You know, I earned that drip. I earned that leakage. I wouldn't let no god try and take credit for the leak that I spread.
It's got a nice power system so far, and like the way magic is used.
Yeah.
And there's like political intrigue and yeah, and like you can't. There's like enchantresses who can like see the future, kinda, and they have like a neural network going on between them, like a psychic network, and like you can talk to them. You can't tell lies, that kind of shit. It's called Children of Chaos, by I forgot his name.
Well, look up Children of Chaos. Author is assuredly doing some shit.
Best authors in fantasy. Says right on the front of the book.
Best author in fantasy. You heard it
fantasy.
here first from the Oregon OGs.
That's what we're called.
That's what we're called by someone in the DMs. We got like 20 DMs. I don't have them written down anywhere. They amount to Life is Strange, play more Life is Strange. The new one was announced.
Ooh, we should do
like
it.
5 requests. I'm not fucking doing it.
Sure.
They
want it.
I will consider Life is Strange 2. I will consider Life is Strange 2.
I'm like, wait, what?
But not the prequel. I will not do the Chloe prequel.
They were tugging at my heartstrings when they showed Rachel Amber.
No.
Rachel in the dark room.
No. Shut up. I don't care. Moving other things.
Control me.
One crazy person requesting Paper Mario to come back.
Oh yeah, whatever happened to that?
I don't know. It's there. Whatever happened to Harvester? It didn't work. There's an actual answer for that one, so that was a terrible example. I don't remember any of the other DMs, so we're just gonna move on from that. What I have been up to,
It's piles of shit.
I've been busy working on my book. I've been editing this thing for like a fucking year. It's killing me. It's the
I've been hearing it's about to come out.
It has been the longest process of my fucking life, man.
Do it faster.
It's hard. You gotta keep reading, and there's things I keep missing, so I know I need to keep rereading parts, and it is very hard to edit a book. Originally, when I was joking around, that's like, anybody can write a book. It's so easy. I do think anybody can write a book, but I fully understand why so many people stop writing that book.
The work.
And I fully understand why so many people are intimidated by the concept of it, but and also I don't think anybody can write a good book.
Wait,
because it is very hard.
Because the effort and tedium, or because of the skill it takes to craft a well-told story?
The skill it takes to craft a well-told story is a lot more...
Or entertaining.
See, that comes into a broader topic of quality in general.
Because I have not read your stuff, because you've hid it from me for some reason.
You read Gay Bro Dinosaur Love?
I didn't. You told me about that.
No, you read that in front of me.
No, I didn't.
No, you read one. No, you read Behind the School.
I didn't read.
You read parts of it, because you read out parts of it to me.
I read like some excerpts.
Either way, I have gotten a lot better since then, and I don't think my book's going to be very good.
You're like bragging about you're on fanfiction.net, and I was like, whoa, what is it? Like, I'm not telling you.
I couldn't at the time. It was very embarrassing for me.
What, your gay love behind the school shit?
That type of shit, yeah, because I wrote a lot of gay shit and a lot of lesbian shit and all that.
Keeping it secret.
I was just keeping it secrets.
What, you come out from behind the school?
And it was mostly just fucking terrible. Like, I was not good at all at that time. And I don't think I'm good now, but I'm better than I was. I'm better to the point where it's like, okay, people can read this and I don't fucking care. I'm also older to the point where it doesn't matter.
You're distinguished.
I'm not distinguished.
You have any awards yet?
No.
Short stories? You get paid.
I do get paid. And most of my pay comes from freelance work, though. Minecraft books. If you ever see a Minecraft book on Amazon, it may be by me. And the funny part about that is I won't even know it's by me, because a lot of them change the title, and a lot of them come out under a different author's name. An author's name that I was privy to at the time, but fuck you, I'm gonna remember some other author's name.
And then you'll like crack one open and like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar.
So sometime down the line, there may come a time where I find one of my Minecraft books somewhere. But that's unlikely, because they are not. I don't think they're really blowing up the charts.
Wait, are they sexual or
no?
It's just
I have a sexual one, Minerotica. It sounds worse than it is, because it's minor with an E, like Minecraft, and it's about the minor main character that's like he's fucking everything, and then he fucks his way.
Wait, were you saying Minerotica like with an O?
That's what I was saying.
That sounds terrible.
That sounds bad, but it's not as bad as it sounds. And the Minecraft guy fucks his way out of the digital world and then fucks Notch and all that. It's a whole thing. It's not very good. It was a joke.
Sure.
No, that one was pretty explicitly a joke. And then everything else in my life, I'm reading Dracula. Talked a little bit about that to Sherwood off mic. It's pretty good. I like it.
Just pretty good.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm not even halfway through yet. It's good. I'm enjoying the stories in it. Dracula's a dick. It's still in the early goings, and it's still pretty slow right now where I am. Still getting back to Dracula, because it starts with Dracula, then takes a break from Dracula, and then now I'm getting back to Dracula, but it's been taking a bit of a break from the Dracula. It's a whole thing.
Drac to the future. Dracula time travels.
So, I'm just going to jump ahead to our next topic. Horror movies.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a great one. Are you falling asleep over there, man?
No.
You look really low energy right now.
I just ran for like Just doing almost a 10-minute mile.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't have run before this podcast.
Fuck off! I was running tonight.
You could have rescheduled. Whatever.
No.
I've never been that into horror movies, as is fairly well known.
You're full of shit.
I've always been a horror fan. And that's the thing. Horror movies just never clicked for me.
Horror aesthetic.
I love the horror aesthetic. I loved horror books.
Shit.
I loved horror games, horror TV shows. Horror has always been one of my favorite things. I've just never gotten into horror movies until recently.
I remember you complaining about how silly and stupid horror movies were, while at the same time you loved Resident Evil.
Yeah, but Resident Evil is like a B movie, and I've always liked B horror movies that are bad.
What's the distinction?
B movies are a distinct thing.
Is that a type of movie?
It is a type of movie, yeah. It's like low quality, cheap, low
because
production
they're doing
value.
it on purpose, or they just bungle it so much.
I think it's that they're just trying so hard and have no capabilities or money.
They're taking it too seriously. The production.
That's what I like about B movies, is the self-seriousness over these just ridiculous concepts. But regular horror movies that were trying to be scary, they just didn't click, and a lot of them still don't for me when they're trying to be scary. Like, I'm not a fan of the Conjuring movies.
Oh man, I love the Conjuring.
I think the Conjuring 1 is pretty good. I think that is a pretty entertaining and solidly written movie.
Conjuring 2 is a bag of fun.
It is a bag of shit because it's trying to be scary, but it's also stupid as hell.
You keep using the word scary.
It's trying to present everything that is in there as though it is the most terrifying shit I've ever seen, but it's really not very terrifying at all.
I've moved completely away from that mindset because your expectations, that's been one of your main objections all these years, is I want to be scared, and these movies aren't scaring me.
That is, I want scary shit.
They're just not gonna scare you.
But a lot.
Get scared by most of the stuff I like.
And yeah, I needed to get over that, and I did.
I'm just more like, remember when we just watched Wes Craven's They?
Wes Craven's They.
And it had a lot of good stuff in it.
A lot of solid concepts.
It had some weird stuff in it, like the CG monsters.
The CG goofy monster man.
It was 2002
CG
monsters.
Yeah.
So you know exactly what that means if you've seen those kind of movies.
And like, they tried to hide them in the dark for a while.
That kind of worked.
And it kind of worked early in the movie because they weren't showing it a lot, and you'd only get like tiny glimpses of something moving really fast across the screen. But
something in the shadows.
As it went on and they were having more direct confrontations with these monsters, it just fell the fuck apart. In the CG aesthetic, at least. The movie was solidly entertaining throughout, I think.
But what I was saying is they had a bunch of stuff I liked, and the scare. I give them points in the atmosphere and what they were going for, but it wasn't scary to me. Like, it didn't. It's like, I appreciate how the characters are scared and how they would be given all the rules of the world they've set up so far. But I'm not personally scared just watching this shit.
Yeah, I wasn't scared either. I think it was a pretty tense movie, like, for a self-contained thing. Like, the tension that was set up and paid off within itself was okay. It was pretty well done.
Concept too.
Yeah, solid concept.
Monsters under the bed.
Monsters.
And they ran with it.
Attack or kidnap kids and then mark them and then come back and get them as adults. They can only be in the darkness. They affect electricity and can turn out lights. And babies cry when they're near them. Though that never really came in. That was more just like
once when it happened.
That was like just setting the tone, or maybe it was like that was actually just coincidence.
Natural things that happened.
Just an actual coincidence, and the guy just read too much into it because the guy that was reading into that was very crazy. All sorts of shit there. But it's a good segue. Wes Craven also made the first movie series of horror movies that I liked. Nightmare on Elm Street.
I remember we watched the first one years ago. And
we watched
the
first one.
This is really weird and silly.
I think it was 2013.
It was a while ago.
It was a long while ago.
The stretchy arms walking down the
street. And we laughed at it and had a really fun time watching it,
and
because
never went back.
We just never went back. We said, all right, we'll watch the other ones eventually, whatever. And then it was like fucking January.
Yeah.
That we decided to watch 2 because
I was right about to start watching them for, I don't know why.
You were just wanting to watch them. And I was like, fuck it. All right, I'll give him a shot. And we watched Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Oh, man, that movie's so gay.
And that is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. That movie is fucking terrible. And I was so reluctant to watch 3.
Yeah, you were angry at 2.
I was mad at 2. Because it was affirming everything I hated about horror movies. It wasn't fun. It was slow. It was depressing. Freddy just came out at the end and killed some people, and that was it.
He wasn't having a lot of fun.
He was barely in that movie.
He had a nice bit during the pool segment.
Yeah.
Where, like, the flames are coming up behind him. Makes his wrestling intro.
Yeah, he basically had a wrestling intro minus the music. But then Sherwood kept pushing, and I agreed to watch Part 3, Dream Warriors.
That was the one. I remember years ago, we were Googling something about Nightmare on Elm Street, and it was like, hey, Dream Warriors, right?
We found out about the concept of Dream Warriors, and we're like, alright, that's
cool.
maybe interesting. And that was what made me agree to watch 3 now, is that I learned that was Dream Warriors, where kids take their superpower personalities into the dream world to fight Freddy. And that just sounds radical.
Because he kills people in their dreams, and normally people can't fight back because they're shit. But these people can do stuff while they're in their dreams. They have special powers.
They're special dreamers. And that movie was radical. That movie was fucking great. That was
one of the best ones.
That was, I think that's the best one. 3, 6, 1 is my order of quality.
I keep going between 3 and 6.
6 is also really good. 6 is a ton of fun. Because that 6 is the culmination of 3's setup of Freddy's having fun, and shit's gonna happen. He's gonna kill a bunch of teens.
The 6th movie opens with Freddy already won.
Freddy has won.
10 years.
Wiped the city out of kids.
10 years from now, the city of Springwood or whatever, Freddy owns it. All the kids are gone. All the adults are driven crazy.
Freddy can fucking kill them.
He can freely alter reality at this point in the waking world. Which, during the movies, you can see his power level increases from the start.
He gains power over time that he is alive and killing.
There's kind of rules within the world of Nightmare on Elm Street.
And, yeah, Freddy has some solid rules, and I think that's the thing with Wes Craven. He's very interested in the rules he sets up and the telltale signs of the thing that's coming. He's very good at foreshadowing a threat. I don't think Wes Craven is, flawless by any means.
Hey, he made New Nightmare.
Which is terrible. So then after 6, one of the best ones...
6 is the one where they finally kill Freddy for real.
Freddy's dead, part 6.
Nightmare on Elm Street 6, the final nightmare.
And then, I thought 5 was the final nightmare, and then 6 is Freddy's dead.
No. 5 is Dream Child.
I think 6 is Freddy's dead.
Freddy's dead, the final nightmare.
Is that the full title?
6.
Okay.
And 7 is Wes Craven's.
7 is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Where it's the movie production of a Nightmare on Elm Street movie that Freddy comes real and kills people, which sounds like the best one. Yeah. That sounds like the best setup for Robert Englund to be silly as shit, kill people on a movie set, and then kill himself, Robert Englund, as Freddy.
As Freddy kills the guy playing him.
That is the perfect concept, but none of that happens. They are on the movie set for like 5 minutes, maybe at the beginning, and then the rest of it is just the main actress and her son fucking around a house.
Taking it kind of serious.
Taking it so serious. Talking to Wes Craven himself, a self-insert, and it's just fucking terrible. All of it
Wes Craven
awful.
Talking to the original actress from the first movie about whether or not she should be in this reboot of the Nightmare series in the movie.
Yeah, it's so
you should take a look at this script, Heather.
It's so meta and dumb, and it should be great for those things.
It's terrible,
but it sucks, and it makes me so sad because I was so excited for that one.
I was waiting for
the concept is so good, but it's wasted. And after that, we decided there's only one of these movies left: Freddy vs. Jason.
What? No, that was the reason you wanted to watch it.
Was it?
I feel like it.
Oh yeah, because you had been bugging for years to watch Freddy vs. Jason.
Really?
For no reason. You just kept bringing it up.
I don't think I did.
You did. I remember explicitly because you kept saying, we should watch Freddy vs. Jason. And then I would say, well, I want to watch all the movies involved first to understand everything involved. No,
I said I'm going to watch Freddy vs. Jason. You said you'd watch it, but then you needed to watch all of them first.
But prior to that, you had brought it up throughout the years as a thing to watch. I do remember, because we had that conversation a lot, where I would say, as an excuse to not watch any of them, well, I want to watch all of them, and we're never going to watch like 20 fucking movies.
Which we did.
And then we did. And so after we finished Nightmare, it was, well, we can't watch Freddy vs. Jason without seeing a Friday the 13th, the series.
That series was long.
But before we get into that, I have to go pee, so we're going to take a quick intermission. Alright, we're back. But before we go into Friday the 13th, as I was watching Freddy, I had the greatest realization, the greatest thought. I'm going to be Freddy for Halloween. And then...
this is in the past?
Copycat Sherwood over here jumps in and says, oh man, I'm going to be Freddy too! And it's like, now, like part 6... my costume, Freddy's dead. I thought of that joke in the shower and I was determined to make it. And then I was like, well, I guess I could be Jason. I mean, whatever, I'll just do it. Not caring about Jason at all. And we watched the Friday the 13th movies. And I think it was just because I had that association of, I'm gonna be Jason for Halloween, that I fell the fucking love with Jason. Like, harder than I've fallen in love with a character in so long. And I have no idea why. I just think he's cool. I think he's kind of adorable. He just wears normal clothes, and he just stands around silently. So it's like, that's just going to be so much fun to be. And I just don't have to do anything. I can stand there in a cool mask and stare at people while holding a machete. That's the best Halloween costume right there. And, you know, those movies, let's get into them. What's your opinion of the Friday the 13th films?
They're alright. Nightmare is my favorite, but Friday the 13th is pretty good.
Friday the 13th is... it's a bad film franchise.
I mean, it's bad.
But I also think, if we're being serious, Nightmare on Elm Street, as a franchise, is also probably pretty bad. But that's not the point. Quality is subjective.
Well, I'm not talking
entertaining
about, I'm not
and
talking
good
about
are
just
two different
quality.
things.
It's many different aspects. Consistency, Friday the 13th scores very low.
Very low.
Specifically with the in-universe lore.
Oh, yeah.
All
over the place. So,
First movie, it's not even him.
First movie, it's his mom. Everyone knows that. Second movie...
Not everyone knows that.
Really?
Normal people, ask him.
I've always known that. Huh. Neat.
Yeah, every time I talk to someone, it's like, yeah, those Friday the 13th movies, right? How his mom is in the first one and not in any other ones. And they're like, what? I thought it was him the whole time.
Huh. Guess people are stupid.
Well, yeah, most people don't watch all the Friday the 13th movies.
Well, why
they watch
not?
The first one.
Why? The first one's the only one that doesn't have Jason. If they watched that one, they would know Jason's not in it.
Well, they watched in the 80s.
Whatever. Those movies are incredibly inconsistent. So, I loved them. They're terrible. And most of them are not very enjoyable.
The stories... You can't even, really talk about the story.
No. But they're so fun. And I love the kills. And I love Jason.
I like the one with the psychic powers.
That was the worst one.
Really?
Alright, it wasn't the worst one. 7 was bad. That's 7.
The psychic girl, she dropped a little bit of roof on him. And then she's like, I got him. Don't worry. He got back up and got him.
But then again, you think about it. This person doesn't know who Jason is.
I think she knocked him around a bit already.
All logic would point...
Either way, she did it again, right after.
Yeah. That movie's fucking terrible. The worst one is 9, which is Jason Goes to Hell. And because Jason's barely in it.
Isn't that the one where the guy tricks the girl into, and there's a shootout in the diner?
Yeah. So with the weird like monster hunter guy.
I kind of only remember the interesting parts.
That movie is Jason is body hopping between people and he's an evil slug. It's so fucking dumb and bad.
People.
So, and then Jason X is after that, the one where he goes to space, and that movie's incredible.
Damn, so Jason X was the 10th one.
It was 10. Jason X Roman numeral.
That's a lot of movies.
That's a lot of fucking movies.
Were there 13 movies?
Maybe total.
This is 10.
If you count like remakes and stuff.
The remake's good.
The remake, we'll get into remakes of both of those after this, I guess. So after that, after we watched all those, Sherwood just kind of moved on, and I just kind of got fixated on that shit, and I just kept thinking about it.
What?
Friday the 13th and Jason in general.
Oh.
And then I watched a 7-hour documentary about it, detailing the history of all the movies. We also watched Freddy vs. Jason, obviously. And that movie's masterpiece.
The culmination of the franchises.
So it was directed by the guy that did Bride of Chucky. And he's the reason why a lot of people don't like that movie.
Really?
Because he made it, like he said, he had never seen any of those movies.
What?
He had never seen a Friday or Elm Street movie when he made that movie. So all of the like fun little callbacks and stuff, those are one or two people fighting for their life to get these references in there.
Jeez.
And that guy, I don't remember his name. I want to say Justin Lin, or is that the Fast and Furious guy?
I think that's him.
I'm not sure. It's some Asian director guy who had only done a couple bad movies up until that point. And he said he doesn't care about how to make a Friday or Elm Street movie. All he cares about is making a movie that people that go to the theater will enjoy seeing. And I think he did an okay job, because that movie is
I enjoyed it.
Super fun.
I love the franchises.
I love both franchises. I got to see both characters fighting in their styles. I
saw all of the other movies.
I got to see Freddy do karate kicks to Jason while they were locked in a power struggle.
Psychokinetic powers, pinballing Jason around the room.
And he was thrusting and then said tilt. It was so good. It was a masterpiece.
Oh man, because for a while, like half of the movie, whenever they fight, they're not really fighting.
Yeah.
Robert Englund, he's too old. He's an old man.
He's an old man.
Second half of the movie, or like towards the end, they're close combat. Just
another thing
and kicking each other.
Another thing moves. People didn't like about it is they changed the actor who played Jason. From
man, whatever.
So
I don't know.
So I said that exact same thing. Whatever, who gives a shit?
But then you watched the documentary.
Then I watched the documentary, and the guy from, I think it's 6 through 8. 6, by the way, is the best Friday the 13th movie. It's the one that introduced most of his supernatural elements.
Where the lightning bolt
brings him back from the dead. Up until that point, it is theoretically possible that he is a normal person just living out in the woods. I don't think that is at all the case.
Well, normal. He was a hideous mountain man.
Crazy, hideous mountain man. But it is theoretically possible that he is a mysterious living human being in the woods up until that point.
Previously dead.
But I think in the first movie, if you take into account the first movie, he totally died.
What if he never actually did die and his mother just went crazy?
I don't.
Is that a theory?
That is one of the theories. I just don't buy into that, because what is the time frame? How long did he have to have disappeared into the water for that to have been a thing? And then he grew up and he put clothes on? I don't fucking understand.
He didn't even disappear in the water.
So she just went fucking crazy and now there's no motivation behind the story?
Maybe he got right out and she just snapped there for some reason.
That doesn't make any sense. That's terrible.
Okay, let's say if it did happen like that, could it work?
It could.
That could happen.
It could have happened. But it would be bad.
Well, worse than it is now?
Yeah!
No.
Because that's the whole motivation for it. The whole motivation is that Jason died because of teen negligence. So his mom went crazy and started killing negligent teens.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty good twist.
But then...
It's just crazy.
Then, Jason's mom was like, kill them, Jason. Kill for mommy.
Yeah, he heard her words. Like she was a ghost, maybe.
When she was dead... and then or he came back, and those are the words. So the infamous is actually
kill.
Because it's kill for ma ma ma.
I always thought it was ch-ch-ch-k-k-k.
No, it's k-k-k ma ma ma. And if you really listen to only one or two, like if you listen to that audio thing, it is somewhat clearly that. But somewhat, if you really are listening for it and are with that in mind, you will be able to pick out Kiki Mama, whatever. But it sounds like fucking ch-ch-ah-ah. Or ch or k or ah.
I remember early on it was ah, and then later on I heard some.
I think they changed it more to that as it went on because people were saying ah. But then in part 6, so here's where it gets confusing because there have been comics throughout the span of these movies, all of which have it spelled out ch 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 ah. And then for part 6, Alice Cooper did the song He's Back, the man behind the mask, for that movie. And in it, he clearly audibly says chi ah. So, fuck you. It's both of them. You can't say it's one or the other. It's both.
Yeah. That's what I say.
A lot of people are like, fuck you, these nerds.
I'm hearing multiple versions throughout all the movies.
But yeah, the guy,
They're
back
just
on
throwing
topic.
words in there.
Back on topic. Part 6, the guy who played him from then till through 9 is Kane Hodder. And that guy perfected the mannerisms of Jason. He perfected the movement, the style of his kills. Like, the way he moved around, he was a professional stuntman.
Playing the character.
Rather
than just being in a mask.
Just being in the mask, yeah. And
so he's basically a Kamen Rider actor.
Basically. But what really sold me on him was listening to him talk about it. Because he took it so seriously. He was cool. Dedicated to that role. He would talk to the directors and say, Jason wouldn't do this. Jason wouldn't do it like this. This is how Jason would do it. And then they would take that into consideration, and he would help make the movie as Jason. He was Jason from that point, and everyone agreed he was the best. But then they wanted, the director wanted a more intimidating person, a bigger person, so they got a really big guy to play Jason in that movie, so it was more of a staunch contrast with Freddy, because Kane Hodder is actually around, like, only a little bigger than Freddy.
Freddy vs. Jason.
Yes. So
yeah, he's stomping around like a predator.
So a lot of people don't like the guy. I liked him, honestly, because he's, especially even after, because when I was watching the documentary, I was like, man, that guy's fucked. There's no way I can like him as that Jason anymore, because I've now heard how betrayed Hodder felt by not getting that role. And then they roll into Freddy vs. Jason shortly after that, and he's just a super nice guy. He's just a super cool guy. And literally the first time he heard about the history of Hodder, he's like, I'm not gonna live up. And a lot of people shat on the Frankenstein movements, and then like, but I liked that because that was a part of 6. A part of 6 was that he was brought back the way Frankenstein was brought to life, with a lightning bolt to the heart.
He's basically a Frankenstein.
He's basically a Frankenstein. So him moving a little more like Frankenstein, I was like, oh, that's a nice little visual tying in there, despite not actually having much to do with those origins in that movie specifically. But a lot of people hated that. I liked him, and I thought he was big and he portrayed the character, and it was good for the staunch contrast of seeing shorter Robert Englund versus this fucking bodybuilder looking motherfucker. And then I was like, all right, he's fine. But then they talked about our next topic, the remakes of these two franchises. The guy who played Jason in the remake is also a super cool guy, and it's impossible to hate him. He has dreamed about being Jason his whole life.
What's his name?
I don't remember his name, I'm sorry.
Damn, came prepared.
Hey.
Tribute to...
I have a fucking docket here.
Tribute to the guy who waited his whole life to play the character. Finally realized. I don't know his name.
He's Jason Voorhees. That's the character. That's what I care about. But yeah, he's a super cool guy. Super nice, apparently. And yeah, they never made another one. People didn't like it. People didn't like either of the remakes. I didn't like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake at all. I did like the Friday the 13th remake.
That one wasn't very good, in my opinion.
It was not. It was not very good at all.
Went against like the feel of the entire franchise because they try to make it more serious, and dark.
But the first one was serious, but then the
child molesting,
they focused fully. So that was the thing that we didn't talk about in A Nightmare on Elm Street. They never overtly say that Freddy is a pedophile
because there was like a case of shit going around during the first.
There was a spring of pedophilia in the news before that movie was coming out, but they were too late in production to like really change shit.
So they just said he was murdering.
So they just changed it to he's a child murderer, but
they imply
very heavy implications
all of the franchise that like kids.
He was probably fucking some kids.
And then in Freddy vs. Jason.
And in Freddy vs. Jason,
his introduction is he's sitting in his little office space, his lair, and he's looking at newspaper clippings of his victims, children, and he's laughing about it. He's like,
he's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
He's also wearing the fedora and the coat that he was wearing in New Nightmare. Or a very similar style of coat. So that was more just like a visual little call.
Like, and then
out.
Like he's talking about himself or they're talking about him and they say he likes victims. His victims.
He liked his victims young.
Especially children or
especially little girls.
Yeah, and as a little girl walks in on screen and he looks over to her and he's like, ha ha, and then casts a shadow on her and she's like, ah!
And then shing, he was sliced through. And then like went into the next scene talking about his history.
And then he gets the main character later, a girl.
So
he gets her on the bed and he says, your first time's always the messiest. You hear his claws clicking together as he's fingering him under.
So the main girl of Freddy vs. Jason is actually like, I think I'm in love with her.
Who?
The main blonde girl in Freddy vs. Jason. In that documentary, I think it's just like it's all the special features, like put in a line narrated.
She's really cute.
Narrated by Corey Feldman, but she's just doing interviews, and she is just fucking funny and charming. She is like legitimately really entertaining to listen. And most of the Freddy vs. Jason interviews are just her talking because they knew that this girl is fucking charming.
Is this just in that one?
Just in that, I think
I
you
have
could.
The Nightmare documentary, but I don't know how far it goes or when it was made.
The complete Nightmare documentary is almost 4 hours, and that one is on Shudder. The service that I watch is on is Shudder, SHUDDER.com. Horror movie streaming site, $5 a month.
Good shit.
Good shit. Got a lot of good stuff on there. Japanese horror. A lot of indie horror, Tales from the Dark Side, the whole series. Ring
versus the Grudge?
They have The Ring versus the Grudge, the place you can legally pay to buy that. I think that's the only legal way to watch it right now.
That was a really good example of something that was both like really creepy looking in atmosphere and also really fucking stupid.
It was so dumb and not very good, honestly.
Because there was a lot of time in there.
A lot of shit in that movie.
That shit out. But the fun stuff that happened was pretty fun.
Yeah, there was some fun shit in there.
Like remember the. Wait, which ones have we seen? You said we haven't seen some of them.
Some of what?
The Ring and the Grudge.
We have seen...
Because there's the original and the American versions of both.
We have seen Ringu and The Ring. Gore Verbinski's The Ring.
We have seen
But we skipped through that. We watched the American The Grudge, but we have not seen the Japanese Grudge, Ju-On. So we need to get on that.
Ju-On the Ring.
No, it's Ju-On the Grudge, I think.
I thought Ju-On was the Ring.
I'm pretty sure it's Ju-On the Grudge.
Ju-On the Grudge.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's Ringu.
It's just Ringu. That's the name of that movie.
They had really good atmosphere.
Yeah, that movie...
Like, The Grudge was completely serious.
Very serious.
That was the one with the house and the mother and the son.
Yeah.
And it was a little kid ghost, and he would meow like a cat. And then in this one, in The Ring vs. the Grudge... He was a comedy character. He's like appearing behind people, and then he would grab their head, stretch it up like a cartoon character.
That movie was really weird. The Grudge was the last movie that I got scared at. That's one of the only horror movies I've actually gotten
respectable, scary movie.
Gotten scared watching, and it specifically what sticks in my mind are two things, and it's ghosts using phones. I don't know why. It freaks me the fuck out. The idea of a ghost using a phone. It's like, you don't have a phone, ghost.
You can hear a voice, but you don't necessarily know what the other person is on the other end.
Yeah, and it's like, I know it's supposed to just be like, oh, it's an ethereal voice using this to like telepathically communicate or like electronic frequency waves, whatever. But I just think about this ghost on a phone, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, one thing that's scary to me is, like in the older movies, like a Nightmare, talking on the phone to someone, or the phone rings, and it's not plugged in.
Yeah, that's pretty spooky. But also the second thing, the way the head moved down forward.
She was strangled.
Yeah, but like when her neck was like really long and like stretched down in the darkness, through the darkness, that visual has just stuck with me.
Something about the darkness, like the hair.
It's fucking creepy.
Skewers it.
I got creeped out in Ringu.
Paleness. Yeah.
Ringu, I got creeped out because there was some solid like just quiet. I think quiet horror is what gets me scared.
Yeah, the quiet, like, lack of music, like, there's nothing here.
There's just
then
nothing.
A slight sound of dread. You know that sound, that low sound.
Slight frequency.
Ooh. It's, like, really loud, but really quiet at the same time.
And then, her,
overwhelming presence.
Is it Sadako or Kayako in the Ringu?
Sadako's ring.
Sadako just standing at the end of the hallway and, like, slowly walking towards him as he's on the ground. That's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
And then, like, the only thing we see of her is the eye looking down. Like, I thought that itself was kind of silly, but silly in a way that's like, that just doesn't look right.
Like, her body's all contorted, so she's clearly scary looking, and they just show the eyes. They don't have to show so much.
But then in Gore Verbinski's The Ring, they just showed
she was a monster face,
CG monster face, monster, whatever.
Clearly an American. I think it was set in America.
I think it was.
Because originally it was just like Japan, because they're in Japan.
Yeah, it was a Japanese horror movie.
The Hollywood remake, which that was that early 2000s.
That
look
early
and feel.
2000s look.
It's like
and feel.
it's HD, but not quite.
Yeah, it's a weird time. But yeah, back on the
Hollywood
Freddy and Jason remakes, the
Nightmare one was terrible.
Nightmare was terrible. The Friday the 13th one gets a really bad rap. People do not like that movie. And I really enjoyed it.
See, having watched, with the Nightmare one, we watched all of it, and he's trying to do Freddy, but he's doing Freddy wrong.
It's Rorschach from Watchmen. And I thought he was a good actor as Rorschach.
His performance was fine.
He was doing the best he could with what was given to him, I think. And
he was playing a victim. I think,
yeah,
a killer.
That was what was really weird about that movie, is they were really playing up the did he do it though, but then he overtly did it.
I could see him as, oh well, they lied and said he did it, so he's clearly out for revenge.
Yeah.
Or he's a straight up killer man. But the way they tried to put both in there made it worse.
They tried to portray it as he's just his victim, but then no, he was a horrible rapist. And then he was about to. Oh, yeah, he was overtly about to rape this girl again.
All those kids.
And it was very overtly raped.
So it's like, it's not as fun.
It was just a lot less fun. It was just really.
He didn't even joke around, really.
Yeah, he wasn't a jokester.
His mannerisms weren't really like. Nah, they just didn't have it.
They didn't get it. They didn't get it down.
He was like trying to he had like a little twitch going on or something. He would like.
I thought the finger thing was like he was like taunting him. But it didn't.
More like a nervous tick.
It felt more like a nervous tick as it went on.
But it's just something he did.
Yeah, like it was weird.
But they put that in there.
Yeah, that was like his thing. He's like, oh, he's fingering, flicking his fingers together with his blades.
Overall, the Nightmare movies, Robert Englund brings a character to Freddy Krueger. He's like, he'll walk in the room and just like kind of stand there.
Yeah.
Like a 45-year-old man.
Freddy's
probably was
just his mannerisms are so iconic.
Freddy's just kind of a guy. He's kind of shit. That doesn't really fight very good.
Yeah,
he can easily be overwhelmed by one person.
Also, not good at giving chase. He's very, very clumsy individual.
Like, part of it, he's playing a game.
Yeah,
he's hunting you.
Yeah,
he wants to get you as scared as possible, so he's not immediately grabbing you. But also, you are kind of you're getting away from him.
Yeah, he's fucking with you a lot.
Like if you were actually trying and weren't so scared, you could probably take him pretty easy.
Probably.
That one day.
Maybe.
Because he keeps coming back.
He does keep coming back, yeah. And he has very clearly set up rules, and they played into that, but it just...
And yeah, they didn't
it also
pay
just
enough service to it.
Wasn't a very entertaining movie. Like,
Yeah.
you could forgive all those things if it was just fun to watch, but it wasn't.
See, when we watched it, there was such a large gap between seeing the first movie, which was years ago,
Yeah.
and seeing that. After that, when
We rewatched the first one.
Yeah, after watching the first one, then I was like, okay, I can see how they were doing point for point.
They were trying to remake the first one.
It's a remake of the first movie.
But it just didn't... It didn't feel the same.
Like, I had enough knowledge of the rest of the series.
Yeah.
While having not so much memory of the first one that didn't click. So I'll have to watch it again.
Because Freddy in the first one is not that... He's not jokey, really. He makes maybe one or two little cracks.
The first one's a standalone movie originally.
Yeah. It's just this killer man, and maybe he's a little enjoying it.
Wes Craven didn't really have anything to do with...
I don't think he did at all.
The other ones, except for the last one.
Yeah.
It was someone else made the second movie, which...
was awful. And then all the others are just cartoons.
Something I noticed with...
Freddy devolves to literally a cartoon at multiple points.
Not just horror movies, but movies and shows in general, is that something that can make it really good or make it really bad is the pacing. When things are just spread out so far,
pacing is super important.
That can just ruin shit.
Pacing is super important. You gotta get things snappy. You gotta keep it going.
Depends on the medium.
Yeah. Alright. So, after we watched all of those movies, that was like 3 months.
Did we even talk about the remake Friday the 13th?
Yeah, I talked about it. I said it's good.
Oh,
a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people...
Well, he was being Jason.
A lot of people give that movie shit for one reason that's wrong. Jason runs. But Jason ran in like 3 of the other movies.
Oh, they just don't think Jason runs?
They just don't think Jason runs. People are looking for reasons to be elitist about this thing that is objectively pretty terrible. So why are you being so elitist about this? Shut the fuck up and enjoy a movie.
That's how I feel about, like, almost everything these days.
I'm getting there, because it's like, alright, people... I've gotten that way
people
over...
like different things, and every aspect of any sort of media has things in it.
And so I think why we both have such strong leanings this way is, one, I have now written an entire book, and you are now working on your own projects, and it's... Everyone is just trying their best to make a thing as best they can. And if something's bad, it's not necessarily because, like, they wanted to make a terrible fucking thing. They just weren't very good. So it's like...
Well, yeah, it's, what boils down from people liking different things, or, like, making something, is it good, or is it fun? And it can be both, or it can be neither.
I prefer the word entertaining to fun, because fun has a slightly different connotation.
Yeah, okay, entertaining.
I can be entertained by something that's not necessarily fun.
Quote-unquote work of quality?
Yeah.
Or is it entertaining?
See, I think way too many people get hung up on a work of art or a work of quality media that they just stop themselves from enjoying so many things that are...
Like, this isn't a good movie. I only watch good movies.
Yeah, like...
Snobs.
I'm sure... The thing that gets me with these people is they always have one or two exceptions.
Oh, yeah.
They always have exceptions that are like, this is fucking stupid and terrible, but you like it. And that's why you watch it. So don't be an elitist asshole and shit on things other people like. Just like the things you like.
Well, that was
and be open to other things.
That was basically me talking to you about horror movies before.
2 things, though.
Like
one,
shit.
You were not doing that clear of a job. You were going a very roundabout way of doing it, and I don't understand it.
Roundabout?
Still. I don't understand your attempts still, because they were very poor.
Attempts?
Your attempts to convince me.
See, it was just, you kept denying horror for so long, and I kept noticing, as time went on, I noticed more and more, and became more aware of the things you like have a big overlap with, like, specifically horror. Like, we're watching JoJo's is straight up horror by part 4. They're doing horror shit.
Yes. I have always loved horror. Like I said earlier, I've always loved horror.
Your attitude towards it was
my
not
attitude
consistent.
towards horror movies specifically.
Just movies.
Just horror
you
movies.
Watch horror TV shows.
Well, there's not a lot of them, but the one like.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Goosebumps. I would count X-Files. I would count X-Files.
I never really watched that. I saw like a few episodes.
R.L. Stein's Haunting Hour. Freaky Links.
That's just modern Goosebumps.
Ghost Hunters. Ghost Adventures.
How many ghosts did they have in Ghost Hunters?
None.
Sounds not exciting.
But yeah, I've always loved horror themes, macabre elements, gothic shit, as in like the actual like gothic period, not the gothic style or aesthetic that is common nowadays. Though I am also somewhat into that. And like Resident Evil has always been my favorite game.
Yeah,
franchise.
I mentioned that earlier.
Like I love horror, and I love horror. Like I read Goosebumps all the time as a kid, and watched Goosebumps all the time.
Well, it's kind of like when you said you like X-Files, right? And you said your whole family watched X-Files.
We watched X-Files every week.
It was a family shit.
Family.
And
thing.
then I remember it was years ago. There was a show on TV called Fringe, and from what I knew, hadn't seen the X-Files. It was basically X-Files, and so I suggested it to you, and you were like, "Oh, I don't like Fringe. I watch it, I don't like it." But you never really explained why, so I didn't get it.
I don't like Fringe.
What was it about it? Because to me, it's the same thing.
I just thought it wasn't very entertaining. I just thought it was kind of boring. And honestly, like going back, X-Files, a lot of those episodes are pretty boring. There's a lot of nothing episodes of X-Files.
I get that about both of those things.
I'm sure the good episodes of Fringe are good.
Fringe honestly had like more potential for me than actual entertaining stuff.
I didn't care about the overarching plot. I didn't really care about the characters.
Overarching plot, different dimensions.
Yeah, see, I didn't even get that far because I didn't care about what they were setting up. I didn't care about the characters.
It was a Fox show.
And I just didn't care about it. As were X-Files, there were some legitimately fucked up, scary episodes. And
the hillbilly people.
The hillbilly episodes are the ones everyone goes to. The one I always go to in my mind is the one with the swamp monster that sits in toilet, like, outhouses and shit, and just eats people. And, like, goes through the sewers. And, I really like Mulder. I had a huge crush on Scully. Like, I was invested in those characters and the shit they were doing. And then it went the way it did. There was all the aliens abducting and all that weird. Mulder's sister was abducted by aliens.
Got abducted and impregnated.
Then Mulder was abducted.
And the T-1000 had to come in at some point.
The Liquidator had to come in. And I just didn't care about him. And it was like, where's Mulder? Mulder, though. And there was no Mulder.
Remember one where Mulder died and then some guy ate him to revive him?
That was fucking weird.
But he had to take Mulder's death.
Yeah. That episode was fucking weird.
And he was eating him and they spit him up and he was like all covered in jelly.
I was a big fan of the show Murder in Small Town X.
Never heard of it.
Which was a reality show. I'm using air quotes. Where instead of like getting voted off the island, contestants would be murdered by the killer.
It's a reality style
but
show.
One of them was the killer. And they made like a version of this show a while ago in like the mansion, but it was trying to be reality and it wasn't. It was fucking terrible. And Murder in Small Town X, it was also terrible, and that was it. It was just a reality show, and then one of them was the killer.
Have you seen Club Dread?
No.
It's like spring break on an island. Everyone's partying,
Woo!
but there's a killer. But it's kind of like funny and self-aware, and I think there's titties in it. Should watch that sometime.
Shocker that there are titties in a horror movie.
It's like Friday the 13th on an island.
Aye. We also need to watch My Bloody Valentine and My Bloody Valentine 3D so we can see Dean.
Oh yeah, that was his Hollywood venture.
Because
at the time of
Sam from Supernatural is in the Friday the 13th remake and House of Wax, which we also watched, and is not very good. It's not a very good movie.
I thought it was alright.
But now that we have seen all of these Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street movies, we're left with a hole in our lives.
We got a queue.
We didn't actually have a queue at the time. We now have a queue that we're working on.
Did you put Pitch Black?
I did not. I have not updated it at all. So, what other horror franchises are there, we think? Leprechaun.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we watched those.
We watched all of the Leprechaun movies.
Those are terrible.
All 6 Leprechaun movies.
My favorite is In Space.
My least favorite is In Space.
Really?
No. I hate...
That can't be.
It's not.
2.
Back to the
3.
Hood. Back to the Hood is probably the worst one. In the Hood is the best one.
Okay, one of them, the Leprechaun wins, and one of them he doesn't.
Yes. The first Hood,
timeline is fucked.
He wins. The timeline is nonsense.
It's like Star Wars, except every movie is out of order.
It's less fucked than Saw, but it's fucked. And
well, I don't think Saw's fucked.
Saw's pretty... The timeline in Saw is pretty fucked.
Yeah.
It's fucked beyond belief.
They were doing that on purpose? I don't know.
They were trying, but then they added more stuff as it went on.
We'll
talk. All right, Saw is on the docket. We will get to Saw. Leprechaun, though. What's the name of the guy?
Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis.
Little person of acting fame.
He did his best. He did a fucking performance in all of those movies.
He was in Labyrinth.
He was great as the Leprechaun.
Yeah, he was as good as he could have been.
As good as he could have possibly been.
With what he was given.
What he was given.
The budget of like 3 episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
With the budget, and with all of it considered, he did the best he could. There aren't many good kills.
He got a speech in 4.
The speech is the best part of that whole series, honestly. His speech about...
Okay, the best quality-wise...
I think that is the best moment of characterization that character gets. I think that is the Leprechaun's strongest moment.
That qualifies for quality too.
I think that is the strongest moment of the Leprechaun in all of those movies. When he's talking about saving his space queen wife, who
he made an alliance with.
Because her kingdom is broke and he has all the gold in the world or in the universe. Because he's a leprechaun. He has a lot of gold. He has the most gold, and he keeps stealing more gold. So she's gonna marry Warwick Davis, the leprechaun.
She's hot.
And she's super hot, and he's a little, leprechaun man. And
the Space Marines.
He's gonna fund her kingdom, and he's gonna be royalty and the king of the universe. But then
kidnapper.
She got kidnapped, and he got killed by Space Marines. But he's a leprechaun.
He revived through the Marine who's pissing on his corpse.
He went through his piss stream and into his body.
And when that guy was about to fuck some other girl, he burst out of his penis.
Yes, the leprechaun burst out of this Space Marine's penis. This is a real scene in the movie.
More like he crawled out of it.
He broke out. No, that guy was split open.
He was like, whoa, you're getting a little too frisky down there. And she's like, I'm not even touching you. And he's like, ah! And then he comes out of him.
Yeah, but there was blood shooting everywhere. He was killing that guy. And the leprechaun talks about how he needs to save his wife so he can share the universe with her.
An impassioned speech.
And then he thinks about how sharing, the word brings a bitter taste to my mouth. I hate it. I hate the word sharing. The very thought of it brings a chill down my spine. So I'll marry the princess. I'll wed her, bed her, and bury her in the same night. And it's fucking great. And then the rest of that movie's fucking terrible. Dr. Mittenhand.
He gets big.
Dr. Mitten
he
Spider.
Turns into a monster.
Ugh. Dr. Mitten Spider.
They get the space princess's DNA, which has regenerative capabilities. Dr. Mittenhand's, he's attached to a monstrous robot wheelchair.
He's mostly a cyborg at this point. Like only the upper part of his body. His head and his arm. One of his arms is left. And he's bald.
Gross. And he's German?
German, Dr. Mittenhand.
And he's going to revive his body, but a leprechaun comes in and then gets the serum and puts it in a blender with a spider and a scorpion that are in the lab.
All sorts of gross stuff and puts it in there.
Mixes it up and then injects him with it.
And then Dr. Mittenhand's having a seizure as he's jerking around, and then all those other Space Marines come in there like, he's done, leave him! And then they all leave, and then later Dr. Mittenhand revives as Dr. Mitten Spider.
And then Leprechaun is shot with a space laser that makes him super big. So he's like 30 feet tall chasing these guys through
And
the hangar.
it's
and then
nonsense.
they shoot him out of the airlock and then he explodes.
And then he flips off his wife. The end. And then he goes
and then it's
to
in
the hood,
which takes place before
Ice-T is there.
Ice-T finds his golden
The
flute.
final level Twitter gang. You know what? We don't need to talk about it.
Postmaster P delivering a positive message to the community.
And it's a rap trio, and then they rob Ice-T, who
Steals his golden
encountered the Leprechaun in the 70s and beat him stealing his flute,
which he used to build a rap empire.
Obviously, as one would do with a leprechaun's hypnotic golden flute, not take over the world or do anything that makes you of actual importance. You build a rap empire.
This is the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Rap was new. It was hot.
So, you know, those movies go as they do.
They're fucking trash.
They're trash. Actual bad movies.
His powers are so inconsistent.
All right. So when we say trash and actual bad movies, we mean not good and not entertaining for the most part.
Entertaining in a very limited fashion.
In very short bursts.
Look how stupid this is.
In very specific scenes. And then the rest of it is terrible. Also, young Jennifer Aniston's ass is
alright.
on display, and it's okay.
Jennifer Aniston in general.
This is pre-surgery Jennifer Aniston, so she's got a bit of the Junos.
She's young. Was it pre-Friends?
She is pre-Friends.
So right before Friends.
This is right before Friends. And she's got the Junos still, and I'm really into that. As offensive as that may sound, shut up, fuck you, I like it.
I'm always into, like, with monsters and special stuff in general, displays of power.
Displays of power are very important.
So Leprechaun, he is telekinetic. He has telekinesis, doesn't he?
In some ways, he also has, like, genjutsus.
Stuff around. Genjutsus are, like, powerful.
Yes.
He
has very inconsistently OP genjutsus.
He can basically do whatever he wants. He can regenerate, but, like, not too fast, usually.
Except sometimes when you have a piece of his gold, he can't hurt you. But then other times, that's
you own it.
Explicitly when he's gonna kill you. And then sometimes he can't fuck with you if you have an amulet, but sometimes that amulet has nothing to do with anything and isn't even in the movie.
Yeah.
The Leprechaun is inconsistent and terrible.
All over the place.
And I'm about to go pee, so we're taking another intermission. So, next on the docket is what came to be my favorite movie. Can Sherwood guess?
Yeah, probably, but just say it.
Evil Dead series.
Yeah, it's that.
We watched Evil Dead 1 and I was like, this is really fun. And then we watched Evil Dead 2 and I fell in love with that movie. I watched that movie like 8 times now. I fucking love it. In like 2 months I've watched it like 8 times. I fucking love that movie. It is so much goddamn fun. Bruce Campbell is so good. Oh, I love it. Then we watched Army of Darkness like the next day. It takes us like a week a movie or so. Like, those movies we got through in like 3 days because I wanted to fucking see them.
Well, there was only 3 of them.
There was only 3 of them, and like I wanted to see all of those movies so then I could watch Ash vs. Evil Dead, which I watched both seasons of in like 2 days. I love that franchise. It's one of those things where I'm upset that I didn't get to it sooner because I could have had more time in my life loving this thing, but I don't think I would have appreciated it as much had I watched it any time sooner than now. But I watched it at the perfect fucking time in my life, and I adored it. It is now... Evil Dead 2 is literally my favorite movie of all time. That is the best movie I've ever seen. It's the most enjoyable movie, in my opinion. I will watch that movie literally anytime. If anyone wants to watch Evil Dead 2, I will watch Evil Dead 2 at any fucking time. Fuck yeah. And for my birthday...
Oh yeah, I got you and your brother tickets to Evil Dead the Musical.
So in October we're gonna see it, and we're gonna be in the splatter zone. The splatter zone. It's gonna be sick as hell. I am super excited. I'm gonna wear white clothes and get them stained. It's gonna be awesome.
And they're incorporating elements from all three of the movies.
All three of the movies: Evil Dead 1, 2, and the Army of Darkness. And I am super excited. I've heard the soundtrack is amazing. I haven't actually listened to it, but I've heard.
Yeah. I haven't even thought about the song part.
I hadn't thought about it until people were like, "Yo, that song list is actually pretty legit."
Really?
I'm really excited.
Like better than Little Shop of Horrors?
See, I don't know. So Little Shop of Horrors was actually what really started our horror kick. I forgot to mention that. I should have put that on the docket. That was we watched.
That's my one favorite movie.
That movie was one of my favorites. That was like top 3 for me. But Evil Dead.
That's
like,
my number 1.
Evil Dead filled out the spot of that and just like, well, this it does all the same things I like in this, but better for me.
That's my favorite one movie, and Nightmare on Elm Street was my favorite franchise movie.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we watched that just fucking randomly.
No, because I had seen it as a kid, but originally the movie, the test audiences didn't like the original ending, which is like way darker.
And is what you saw. Or no, that's not
and
what you
so
saw.
that's the one I saw was
the
one
changed
after
one,
they
yeah.
changed it, which is the one everyone has seen up until like since the movie came out in 1986, I think, till 2011 when they actually released the original cut.
Yeah. So all my life I've liked musicals, but I just haven't seen much of any.
Have you seen Sweeney Todd?
I have seen Sweeney Todd. I was not crazy about that at the time, but I think I would
go back.
Probably like that now.
We just watched Sleepy Hollow.
We just watched that, and it's like the same fucking thing, but a musical.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've always liked things that are a musical. I've loved music and things like that, and musical movies that I've seen have been some of my favorites. And Little Shop of Horrors has always just seemed like a thing I would really like, but never got around to. And I just kept hearing about it. So
I was always like, you haven't seen it?
Haven't seen it? Really? And that's what everyone kept saying. Is like, that seems right up your alley. And guess fucking what it was. That movie's fucking great. And with the version we saw is the original ending, just coincidentally.
In the theatrical ending, the one that's been out for so many years that everyone's seen, towards the end of the movie, they win, basically. They beat the plant. Oh, spoiler alert. Is that a thing? This movie's been out for like 30 years.
This movie is like 37 years old.
30. Yeah, just about.
It's near there.
Yeah, like they beat the plant. Seymour electrocutes it, and it's like, oh shit, and then it blows up. And then it's happy times. They get their house in the suburbs.
Yay!
Just like she wanted. In the movie we watched,
real quick,
which I wasn't
quick before we spoil it, I wholeheartedly recommend, if you have not seen this ending,
just stop right now.
And go watch it. We are well into this. Go watch the original ending. Make sure, like, Google original ending at least.
Well, don't Google too much.
But find the original ending and watch the movie. Like, if you've seen the movie, just watch the ending and see how it's different. If you haven't seen the movie, watch the whole movie with that ending. And I guarantee you'll like them because, well, I guarantee every single person listening to this will enjoy that movie. I 100% guarantee it.
If you like the movies we've talked about based only on what we've said about them,
if you like,
you'll like
spooky concepts, dark but like kind of tongue-in-cheek about the darkness, like aware of how dark it is, but like, fuck it.
I think that's actually a big part of enjoying horror and media in general is enjoying concepts.
I am a huge fan of concepts.
A lot of the time, it can go really good or terrible. And Leprechaun.
What an amazing segue into our next topic.
What?
The movie franchise that we watched after Evil Dead.
Did we watch? Saw.
We watched all of the Saw movies.
So far, there's a new one coming out.
Jigsaw's coming out at the end of October. We're going to see that. Stay tuned for our opinions on Jigsaw 2017. Those movies are terrible. Those are some of the worst movies I've ever seen.
They're not Leprechaun.
They're not Leprechaun bad. But they are some of the worst movies in terms of writing that I have ever seen. In terms of dialogue.
Edgy.
They are the edgiest thing. They're made by Twisted Pictures, whose logo is like rusty barbed wire wrapped around a metal spike.
I love these movies are twisted.
They're twisted, bro.
I love Saw and I love like what they're about, but I'm not the kind of guy who would wear anything that looks like the movies.
No,
style wise, and that's who I imagine watching this being like, yeah, it's hardcore.
Fuck yeah, bro. So, the Saw movies have very solid concepts of death games.
That's a good concept.
Everyone loves that concept. That's why there's fucking 8 of these movies now.
Would you like to play a game?
Would you like to play a game?
And the key to the lock is inside your body.
Everyone just wants to see what new fucked up shit people can get put into.
Ah!
And they're dead cheap to make. They show off just like the different horror body effects people have, the horror or the gore effects.
They kick it up later.
They kicked it up later as it went on when it was like already a successful franchise, obviously. But even then, they're still cheap to make because it's just basic locations,
people talking,
and then gore effects.
Like the first one was basically 2 people in a room for 90% of the movie.
Basically.
How do we get out of here?
It's kind of like the Purge movies, which we also watched.
Well, yeah, the first one was they're just in a house.
First movie was like The Purge was mostly an excuse for like people are trying to protect their home from people trying to get into their home. That was that movie. And then it was like, oh, we're going out into the city. Woo! People are crazy. Skateboard kids with skull faces.
A different perspective.
Evil clowns. Woo! Like ICP.
They changed the setting, but they also changed like the type of people in the situation.
Yeah, to cater the audience. Or to cater to the audience that is watching these movies, which are 16-year-olds who think skateboards, clowns, and skulls are cool.
Yeah, like Suicide Squad.
Pretty much, yeah. Jared Leto Joker. What a time that was.
Well, Saw's still good.
Saw is not still good. But
like to play a game.
I love it. It's so bad.
I despise murderers.
Ugh! Jigsaw is such an asshole. He is so infuriating.
He does play by the rules.
No! He claims he has never killed a person. But he has directly strapped guns to people.
Well, we know that's bullshit. But he always gives them a chance.
That doesn't make it not murder, Jigsaw!
Okay. He doesn't murder people in the way that a casino does not steal your money. He's gonna take your money.
Alright.
He's gotcha.
That's not...
All you have to do
murder!
is just not put money in.
It's murder.
Yeah, no one disagrees with that. He's murdering them. Yeah.
Then you just gave a reason for the logic.
No, I'm saying he's killing people, yeah, but he plays by the rules.
Those movies are awful. I love them.
He puts you in a situation which you can get out of, but you're going to have to go through some terrible shit. And if you don't follow the rules, you die.
Favorite trap in all the Saw movies?
What was that one with the merry-go-round?
The merry-go-round was a really good one, actually, where...
Like, it wasn't so much entertaining to watch as,
it was just like
action.
A really good idea of, it's a merry-go-round with 6 people on it, and a shotgun with 6 rounds in it.
That they fire every so often. It stops on a person and they fire. It's like musical death chairs.
Musical death chairs, but the guy on the outside can choose 2 people to live. But he has to put his hand through a thing and press a button, and then it'll spike through his hand. So it's an actual, like, painful choice to make. And all the people are, like, pleading their case for, like...
begging for their lives.
One person the first person that gets through it says, my parents are all I have, like, their lives are depending on me. So then... everyone else starts coming up with all these reasons.
No, you aren't.
Yeah, no.
The next your parents.
The next one's like, I'm pregnant. And it's like, no, she's not. So there's some fun mind games there, and there's some fun concepts within.
It's like a game. Everyone's using their cards or their moves, and you're trying to counter their moves and making your moves better.
But the biggest problem with a lot of those movies, specifically, I think it's the third one, where they hadn't figured out the formula of the death traps yet. So a lot of it is a guy standing around to just press a button.
Well, yeah, the different movies have kind of different themes with what they're doing, like what Jigsaw's doing with the main person in the puzzle. That third one was the one guy, the father whose son got killed by some random driver, and his life was ruined, so like he didn't appreciate life, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And like the first person, he gets to a room and it's a girl that's chained up, right? and she was a witness to the crime and like didn't testify or anything, so the guy got off. And she's chained up and being sprayed with water or something, and it's in an ice room. All he has to do is reach between some cold bars and grab a key and unlock her. He's stressing out the whole time. Oh, I don't know if I can forgive you. You didn't say anything. Eventually gets the key, but she's frozen to death. It's too late. It was really easy to do, and he would have had an immediate ally.
Yeah.
So the second one, all he has to do is hit a button to incinerate some stuffed animals of his kids to get the key to unlock a guy who's at the bottom of a pit. He's going to be drowned by dead pigs. And he's stressed about that too, and the guy almost dies. But he gets him out. And the last one, there's like 3 puzzles in there, isn't there?
Something like that.
That's not a lot. I don't
fucking know.
Anyways, the theme of that was you gotta let go of your shit. Like, get over your son's death.
That was 6.
No,
that was 3.
This is 3.
Because 6 was you gotta be able to let go. You can't save everyone.
3 is like he's gotta forgive. He's gotta forgive these people. And at the end, he's like, "You can either forgive me or don't, and it'll be bad." And then he picks up he says, "I forgive you." Then picks up an electric rotary saw and cuts his throat.
And then Jigsaw presses play on a tape. He planned for it.
And he's like, "If you're hearing this, you have failed my test and you have taken my life. But you don't realize you've taken your wife's life too. Because her collar, which is rigged up with shotgun shells, will go off when his heart rate monitor goes to 0. So, like, he told him the rules. All you gotta do is forgive me and you will get out of this alive."
Yeah.
And that whole movie was actually also a test for his assistant.
For both of his assistants. All of them was so many tests for his assistants.
He has multiple assistants.
And it turns out the original one, what was his name? Jonathan?
Arthur Gordon.
Arthur Gordon? No.
Dr. Gordon.
Dr. Gordon?
Are you talking about the guy that was in it?
I'm talking about Jigsaw.
Oh, no.
What's his name?
John Kramer?
John Kramer. Yeah, Jonathan Kramer is...
an engineer.
As brilliant as Light Yagami, Lelouch.
He's a better planner than Lelouch and Eisen.
He is a master planner for literally every possible scenario.
He dies in the 3rd movie.
He dies in the 3rd movie?
There's 7 of them.
But he is still heavily testing people through the 7th one.
The 4th movie opens with an FBI agent getting a tape out of his stomach, which he swallowed at the end of the 3rd one.
No, wait. People are going to take that one way because of the series. Getting it out of his stomach, the FBI detective is getting the tape out of Jonathan Kramer's stomach.
Jigsaw is dead. They got his dead body. They're doing the autopsy. Oh, they find a tape in his stomach. FBI agent listens to it and says, "If you're listening to this, you think my games are over, but the games have just begun."
Yep.
He's dead.
And it's just starting.
It's just starting. And, like, everything he says as Jigsaw has, like, an alternate meaning. Because he's always talking about the game he's playing. He's giving people hints. Like, in the second one, he kidnaps some detective's son, and he's talking to him. He says, "I'll play." He's sitting there right in front of him. "I'll play a game with you. All you have to do is just talk to me. Just keep talking to me. And if you can talk to me long enough, you'll find your son in a safe, secure place." And guess what? His son's in a safe the whole movie.
Like, and right next to him.
Right next to him. And the time goes off, and the detective's like stuck in some fucking trap or something, and he's like, there he is. He's in the safe the whole time. All he had to do was sit there and talk to him. He told him the rules.
Yeah.
But he plays everyone against themselves. So he plans, they even said, he plans for all possibilities.
When you learn to predict human behavior, it doesn't become a matter of chance.
In the 7th one, the latest one, it's a social commentary on health insurance. They get deep into it.
It's a commentary on
like
health
the main character in it. He's the CEO of a health insurance company who he's punishing him for like denying people coverage. "You have to choose between the life of this young man who's healthy and at no risk for anything, but he has no family, or this old woman who has plenty of family, but she's really old." and he chooses the old woman.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't have picked that old bitch.
And it's shit like that. He's got to decide who lives or dies, because he wouldn't accept Jigsaw for cancer treatment.
Yeah, the whole thing was basically spite on Jigsaw's part.
Jigsaw's great though. He gets to give speeches to everyone, even when he's dead.
All the fucking time.
Man, like how much of his dialogue has been post-death?
I would probably say like 50% at least.
The timeline is fucked.
Timeline in these movies that nobody expects to be is fucked beyond belief.
I feel like there's many more Jigsaw cases that happen within the universe that we just haven't seen.
Yeah. Because he was a serial killer that was established in the first movie.
Oh, really? Already?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because the puzzle pieces, and they flash back to one puzzle.
He was already an established killer. And if you remember, in the flashbacks, he was killing, like, all along when he was younger, and, like, now he's old and dying of cancer. So he's been at it for a while. But I don't want to talk about fucking Saw anymore, so let's move on.
Well, let me just, the last thing I want to say, which I told you before, I just want to, Saw Cinematic Universe. Where it's like, it's just killers and shit. Mm-hmm. And then you can get, like, a detective side where they're doing L shows up or something.
L.
Someone mentions some, like, a bill they're trying to legislate about the purge. That kind of shit.
That sounds awful. Moving on. Anime.
Yay.
I have not watched much of any anime.
Well, JoJo's isn't on.
JoJo's is over. We watched that.
Period.
Well, no.
Coming out part 5.
Part 5 has not been announced, but they're gonna do it, obviously.
Well, we're watching My Hero.
We're watching My Hero Academia, Boku no Hero Academia, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
It's the same thing.
Super good show. Season 2 has started. Fantastic. Wholeheartedly recommend to everyone who likes anime or comic books, because it's
an anime about comic book superheroes.
It's an anime about comic book superheroes.
They literally have comic book effects in the background.
And I think anybody can enjoy that show. I think anybody who is like,
do you like superheroes?
I don't mean literally any person, but anybody that is within the realm of liking anime, comic books, and all that bullshit.
If you like superheroes or powers and you don't hate anime, this is the show for you. Sure,
it's a good show. Not much else to say on it, really. It's just really fucking good. That whole tournament arc was fantastic.
Spoil anything.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to. It's too recent, so we can't really spoil anything.
Watch it 2 episodes at a time.
Right now, unless we just watch one whenever. Sometimes we only watch one.
It's better with more than one.
It's obviously everything's better more.
Because like specifically with that show, because they're pacing everything all right. Like, it's 1 season at a time now.
Yeah, they're well, right now the season 2 is 24 episodes, or it's 26 episodes, is where season 1 was 12. And we're still in the airing of season 2 right now, so we can't say much.
Stuff is happening in every episode. It's just kind of slow.
It's slow because of time.
It's not it's
the
not like
actual restriction of time. It's the way.
It's not like they're stretching it out like One Piece.
They're not. It's the literal, like, you have to wait a week between each episode, and that's the sign of a good show. Is you just want more.
It's really tight, but it's really wait a whole week.
You want to watch more. You have to wait a week. Is a thought process. Is not like, oh, guess I'll watch more later. It's the process of, I want to watch more of this, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I used to watch a lot of fucking anime, as everyone knows.
You watched a lot of trash.
I watched a lot of trash, but since I started writing, like, this fucking book, that time got translated directly into writing and reading and getting better at writing. And I just haven't watched much, but I did watch one full series, Kobayashi Dragon Maid. That one was everywhere.
I heard of that.
It was fucking everywhere. It's really cute, really fun. Lesbian dragon with a lesbian and their lesbian daughter. That's not really their daughter, but it's just a lowly that's, like, basically their daughter. Other characters are all fun. All the characters are fun, entertaining. It's just a slice of life show about a lesbian dragon and a human.
I take slice of life as, like, nothing really important's happening.
Basically,
They're just going around.
They're just fucking around, really. It's about the characters fucking around. It's cute. I enjoyed it. I really liked
Welcome
it.
to the NHK is kind of like that.
That's more of a, like, that's making a point about all that shit, though. Or this is just like, we're doing this now. Now we're putting on a play. Because that's the episode it is. Beach episode!
Are they in school?
No. One of the characters goes to school, the little girl.
It's not like a school play.
No. It's
the only context I really know that.
The main character is like mid-20s to mid to late 20s lesbian girl who works at an office and then gets drunk on the weekends.
If I was a woman, I would be a lesbian.
And then
if I had any say over it.
One time, drunken on her way home, ran into a dragon, and then the dragon fell in love with her and then went to live with her as her maid. And that's the show.
Classic setup.
It's pretty fun. I would recommend it. Moving on. Video games. We watched E3.
It's alright.
Dragon Ball Fighters. That's all I care about. Dragon Ball Fighters and Monster Hunter World. Those are the only two things announced there I care about.
I don't remember anything else that was in there.
Those are the only two things you remember because those are the only things I talked about.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey does look really fucking good, yes. But I do not have a Switch, and I probably won't get a Switch for a while.
Oh, really?
No, I don't have a fucking Switch.
I mean, yeah, no shit. Now I'm saying you're not gonna get one.
I'm gonna get one, but
Christmas?
Christmas maybe.
Not for me, probably.
Obviously. Probably not though. I'm probably gonna wait until it's a little cheaper. Since especially now that I'm more getting closer to full financial stability. Yeah. I want to get a new TV, and I'm happy with my PS4 right now. Like, I got a lot of shit on there I still want to play. So if I just wait, I should be able to get a Switch a lot cheaper down the road. And I'll have Zelda, Mario, all that shit ready to go when I get it. Not waiting for shit to come out. Overall, though, E3 was okay, I guess. I don't really give a shit. That was a while ago. I played Resident Evil Revelations 2. As I said earlier, and has been evident on this channel for a long time, I am a huge Resident Evil fan.
Resident Evil movie.
Oh yeah, we saw the new CG movie.
Damnation?
No, Damnation was the second one. We're talking about Vendetta. Resident Evil Vendetta. Leon, Chris, and Rebecca have to fight
Classic.
Fake Wesker. It's not Fake Wesker, but it's just like a different guy that's blonde with slick back hair. Wesker. But he's kind of crazy and a bitch.
Doing like close combat shit.
Yeah, and he does cool CQC shit. It had a ton of really cool action in it. Some weird themes.
What was the guy from JoJo's Part 4? The bad guy?
Shit. Not Dio.
Can't remember his name.
Shit. I would be able to remember this any other time, but I've had a few drinks.
It's that guy in
Kira.
Yeah,
Yoshikage Kira.
He was kind of like him in Resident Evil.
Kinda, yeah.
His wife's hand or something.
Pretty much, yeah. His wife died, and that turned him into a bioterrorist. Because Resident Evil...
He was already working in bioterror or some shit.
No.
He was
a criminal of some kind.
He was doing something within that area, and they killed him, so he went crazy with it.
Yeah. He did cool CQC shit. Him and Chris had cool fights.
They ran around each other, like, 3
shooting
feet
at the
apart.
ground.
Yeah, they like, just aim a little bit up to the left.
Yeah,
you got him.
Like they're shooting at the ground, running.
That's how fat they're running at like a 30-degree angle
in circles at 30-degree angles around each other, shooting at the ground with their machine pistols. It was fucking great.
And Leon steering a motorcycle like 80 miles an hour down the highway with his feet.
To fight 2 dogs.
Shooting at monster dogs who are like bashing into cars on the road.
And cars are like flipping out of the way of them.
Like stomps on a car.
Yeah, and like dogs have been, like 5 bullets to kill in every game. They're not...
these dogs. These are super
They're
dogs.
not a huge ththreat.
These are like Hulk dogs.
But these ones are like fucking Hulk dogs, apparently, despite looking no different. And Leon has to have a sick 8-mile-long motorcycle fight with them.
That was pretty long.
It was a long-ass fucking stretch of highway.
He was riding that motorcycle like a pommel horse.
He was riding it max speed, flipping around the thing, all the while shooting at 2 zombie dogs. It was fucking sick.
After complaining that his life is just a bag of trash.
He's drinking himself into a stupor, talking about how he has to fight a horde of the living dead.
They come after everyone you love.
Everyone you love dies. Ugh! Oh boy.
Damn.
And then
he looked like he was having the time of his life.
He just styled on all of the zombies the whole movie. And it's weird because...
It's like if you were brooding about being Dante from Devil May Cry.
It's weird because Leon usually has the opposite problem in these movies. Because in the Japanese games, Leon is much more stoic and, like, sarcastic. And he's fed up with all this zombie bullshit. So in all of the CG movies, he wasn't very stylish and he was kind of just, like, straight and to the point, did his business.
He was literally standing there. He had no standing animation.
Literally standing there with no personality. But then his dialogue was all snarky and bullshit because it was trying to be RE4. And him being this snarky, jokey asshole, which was contrary to what Japanese people know of that character. But then in Vendetta, his personality in the dialogue is dark, depressed, and cynical. But his mannerisms are RE4 over-the-top action movie hero. And it's like they just can't get him on the same wavelength. Anyway, back on the topic I was talking about.
Wait, gotta mention, every human in that movie is a superhuman.
Every human in that movie can take
so much damage.
All of the damage, be thrown so far in the air, spin around and do super kicks to the head. It's
like doing action moves, like spinning around and punching or kicking someone, or like slamming a zombie's head off with your arm. A regular person could do that. Someone getting slammed into a wall and like denting the wall.
Yeah.
No.
Your spine's fucked in some way.
Stub my toe, I'm done.
It goes well above what any human could do physically. And like that's action movies. It goes pretty fucking far in this one.
I don't stretch taking damage as much.
Yeah, taking damage. I'm such a stickler for taking damage because that's what I like about Kamen Rider is they're wearing the armor, so it justifies taking all this damage. So it's like when you just see a person taking this damage, it's like you're kind of invalidating this whole thing that I'm all about.
What's a normal person?
Yeah, what is a normal person? And
they trained.
Yeah, they trained, so now they can take trains to the face. But yeah, Resident Evil Revelations 2 that I played, a lot of people called that game Badst of Us because it's a bad version of The Last of Us.
The Worst of Us.
That's a better joke, but whatever. That's not the one people made. I have played Last of Us and Resident Evil Revelations 2. I messed that up. And I vastly preferred Rev 2. I am not the biggest fan of Last of Us.
What if you took Last of Us, exactly how it plays, and just swap in Resident Evil in its world and characters? Like, zombies are coming at you.
I wouldn't like it as much because it's the characters and world, but also the mechanics are much more Resident Evil-y and straightforward,
like
items and stuff like that.
It's much better. Have items, but you don't really have control.
It's much better contextualized, at least in my opinion. All that stuff within not the world, but like
some herbs just lying around,
conveyed at least. Like the information is a lot simpler and to the point, and I think it was more effective and like they had more application to things, and I thought the enemies were more interesting. The gun upgrades were better. Gun movement and everything was better. Movement was better. Characters were more entertaining. Dialogue was fun. Story was more entertaining. Literally every single point of this game was better than Last of Us. And people were like, Last of Us is better, so fuck you, that game sucks!
I haven't played Resident Evil.
We played a little bit on stream, but that was a bad showing of that game.
I'm actually more interested in playing it since both this recent horror kick and seeing you play it. Because at its core, it's just a spooky house with monsters.
Resident Evil 1, or a remake.
Resident Evil 1.
Yeah. We should do a video of that.
And I have noticed, and I've said it before, similarities between Resident Evil and Dark Souls, in that it's
don't.
What?
That's a meme, man.
Is it?
Yeah. Saying things are like Dark Souls.
No. I'm going into specific mechanics.
All right.
Here. If you notice, like Resident Evil, it's pre-rendered backgrounds.
Yeah.
And you're running around with tank controls.
Yeah.
I remember you showed me one time, they changed it. They let you, like, full analog movement, and it ruined the game.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
So that's in the re-release of the remake, and
because you can spin around instantly.
You can spin around and move instantly. You're instantly running. It's not a button press.
What
you don't
about
have to turn around or
what
turn.
about if you were going one direction and you just put the stick directly opposite without rolling it around?
You would just turn back and go the other way immediately.
Okay. Anyways, the movement is kind of similar. That part I was mentioning with the spinning around, kind of like in Dark Souls when you're going one way, and if you spin the controller, you can immediately turn around and it does the same not looking good animation that it did there. But also like the management of stuff is kind of similar. The combat's kind of similar. The aim in the guns is both like it's terrible.
There are no similarities here.
I feel from what my limited view of what I've seen of you playing Resident Evil and me playing Dark Souls, you could pre-render the backgrounds of Dark Souls and make it Resident Evil.
I don't think so at all.
I think you could.
I have played a lot of Dark Souls, and I don't think you could do that at all.
Make it slower, though.
So not the same game at all.
I don't know. I think it could be done.
I don't
have the skills.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
You know more about it than me.
I do.
And I haven't played Resident Evil.
And I don't think it would work.
I'm just going off what it looked like.
I don't think so.
Well, I'll see when I play it.
Okay.
Whichever one looks good. I don't want to play something that looks bad.
Yeah. Next, Tekken 7, which we also streamed. We've been playing a little bit of. I'm terrible at it, but I'm having a lot of fun.
I just find the button that works.
Yeah, you're awful. You're the worst.
Well, you're worse than me.
I'm worse at winning than you are, but I'm more in the spirit of the game.
You're getting into some snobbery here.
I'm into
having fun. I just like to
see what I think is gonna happen is the same thing that happened in Street Fighter, where we start at a pretty equal place, but you don't put any effort into actually learning the game.
I don't live here or have immediate access to the game.
Well, no, that's but like
always how it's been.
Even when we're playing together, the way you play is always the same. Of I'm just going to time this one move.
It has evolved over the years.
To what?
You should know.
Well, I'm wanting you to explain it for the audience.
Well, I want to know what your experience is.
Your experience is or my experience of you playing fighting games is you do one move over fucking and over.
And then?
And that's it.
And then I eventually throw in another move. I don't play it nearly as much as you do.
I have not played much of any Tekken 7 recently. I've been too busy.
It takes me a while to like remember all the combos. Like one time I sat down with Marvel 3 and learned one Wolverine combo and it took like hours. Is that normal?
No. It depends on the game. Marvel 3, that's not normal because those good combos are like.
Because I always forget, like, I need to press the other button.
Combos in Marvel 3 are brain dead easy. In every other game, they're a lot harder.
And every time I press a button, it's like, does this button do that move or that move? And Tekken's got a lot of moves.
Tekken has way too many moves, yeah.
And a lot of them are just like punches and kicks. So just by looking at it and it whiffs, I don't immediately know what it is.
But yeah, like, you don't...
So I gotta get that repetition.
You're not trying out the moves and learning all the moves that are useful.
No.
You're just...
I am trying...
No.
Listen to what I'm saying.
You're saying you want my opinion, and then you're interrupting to explain your side of it. So just give your side, or ask for mine.
You just told me what I said is wrong based on what I just said. I hit the button. I don't remember... Does this button do what that button did? I get the buttons mixed up both in my head and in my hands. So what do I have to do? Keep pressing one button until I can remember what that button does. Once I know enough what that button does, then I'll throw another button in. Which is how I got Chun-Li's heavy crouching kick, I think it was, into something else. I forgot.
Either way.
Just started learning that combo when I stopped playing it.
There are more fundamental things of movement.
I haven't played the tutorial.
I haven't either. But, like, moving your character back and forth instead of just jabbing forward. There's trying to learn the game.
Yeah, I do that. It just takes me a longer time than you.
But it feels when we're playing like you're not making an attempt to do it because you're just doing the one move.
I'm always attempting to play good initially, But you like to just jump in and start fighting, so I kind of have to just adapt.
I gotta do my moves.
Well, not everyone learns at the same pace as you, so it's like if we're learning hand-to-hand combat and someone else doesn't immediately pick up all the moves, and you just run in there and start slamming it
Well,
on them.
yeah, how else are they gonna learn?
How well are they gonna learn? That specific person, because people learn differently.
They do.
So
but
you don't have to just shit on everyone who doesn't play as well as you.
I'm not shitting on people for
specific style.
I'm not shitting on playing not as well, because you win like a good amount.
I have some.
It's a thing of
concept of how it works.
Your style of play has a very low ceiling, as where mine has a much higher ceiling, which is what happens in every fighting game.
You put work in to learn all the combos and stuff, and you put time into it.
I haven't, but like, I haven't put much time into most of these games and stuff.
Street Fighter,
I have
played the fuck out of that game.
Street Fighter, I played the fuck out of. Not most other fighters.
Whenever I beat you, you always go back to Blanca.
Yeah, because then I need to reaffirm in my mind that I'm good.
So I can beat most of your other guys,
except Cody. I can beat you with Cody too.
Well, sure, sometimes. But Blanca consistently beats Chun-Li.
Yeah,
my Chun-Li.
Yeah, which is weird because Chun-Li is like my worst matchup as Blanca.
But how do you keep beating me then?
Because you're bad at Street
Chun-Li?
Fighter. You're bad at Street Fighter.
But specifically Chun-Li.
I mean, not specifically.
What should Chun-Li be doing?
I don't fucking know. I don't play Chun-Li.
You said she's your bad matchup against Blanca.
Yeah, but I don't play her that often. She just beats me most of the time.
Who?
People that I played online.
Okay, so from your play time with them, what was she doing differently from me, move-wise?
I don't know. It was a long fucking time ago. I haven't played Street Fighter 4 in so long. It's been like years.
Alright.
I haven't played that game in like a year and a half.
For it.
Street Fighter 5 came out, and I don't play that very often.
Well, yeah, Blanca's not in it.
Blanca's not in it. What am I supposed to do? There's like no body projectiles in that game.
Isn't there an electric person?
No. Well, there's Laura, but she does not remotely play like Blanca.
Doesn't M. Bison do his psycho attack or something?
Yeah, but he plays a lot slower and heavier than...
Well, he's older.
And he's not Blanca also. He doesn't play like Blanca. And the closest thing to the playstyle Blanca would be Rashid. But I just don't like playing as Rashid very much.
Wind guy.
The wind guy. So I end up playing as Ken, and I can win pretty consistently as Ken. I can get pretty good at it, but I just don't care about playing as Ken. And it's just no real motivation for me to play it until Blanca's gonna come. I swear. It's gonna happen. People say Blanca's not coming, but he's gonna happen. And then I'm gonna get in there, and I'm gonna win Evo. And that's how it's gonna go.
I'm shaking my head.
I'm gonna win Evo. I'm gonna go straight to the top. The cream always rises to the top. And that's the truth.
I'll be there in the stands. In spirit.
So other than that, only other game I've been playing is Disgaea 5. And really I have nothing to say on that. Other than that, it's Disgaea.
I saw it and it looked like Mega Man Battle Network. So it looked pretty good.
Yeah, I think you would like Disgaea. I've been recommending Disgaea to you for a long time.
I never had the system.
Well, you've had one of the systems that plays it for like 5 years.
What?
The Vita.
Wow,
There have been multiple Disgaea games on the Vita.
Like one game for the Vita. Which is the game I got the system for.
Yeah. The reasons you have a Vita
never
are
finished it.
Still baffling to me.
Hey, I was sold on the tech. It was some hot shit.
You don't care about Sony
games.
Games. You don't care about the games that would come out on it.
I mean, if they put some good games on
They put tons of good games on it.
After
like a Disgaea.
After a while, I'll just stop caring.
Yeah. I think you would like Disgaea, though. It's a really solid one. The sprites were all redone for it. I've been waiting for this game to go down in price for fucking years since I got my PS4. And it has been $50 consistently. Still been $50 fucking dollars consistently. On sale, it would go down to $50.
Just get $50, duh.
I have had $50 multiple times, but there are other things.
Not spending it.
I wouldn't spend it on that because there are other things that are more expensive that I would rather spend that money on.
Save money for it.
not gonna save money for that because it's like, well, it's still like full price and this game's already years old, so I'll just wait for it to go down.
By the time you realize, you know what, fuck this, I'm not buying this game. You got $50 to spend on anything
or
else.
I could just wait for it to go down to $20 fucking and get it cheaper, the way I've been doing with every game for years, because that's the way to do it.
Sooner, because your fund for the game will need less money in it.
Or I'd save more money by not spending any of the money on $60 games.
I'm just giving solid advice on saving money.
By spending $60 on games?
No, I said save money.
To then buy more expensive versions of the games.
In the future.
But no, your core.
You save money. Wait for that sale. Let's say it's a couple years later. There ain't no fucking sale. What am I supposed to spend this $120 I've been saving to buy this game for?
Or,
something else.
If I've already waited those years, I can just wait for it to be a fucking sale and buy it then. Like I did!
Then I guess you just have extra pocket money.
And I got it for $22, and it was great.
You're just saying, no, I don't want to save money.
No! I'm saying I do want to save money.
Then do it.
That's what I fucking did!
Then where's your extra money?
It's in that fucking drawer. There's a $100 check in there still.
That's what you got? Just
yeah.
$100?
Yeah. I have bills and debt.
Well, fuck those bills. Get the game. Steal it.
No!
Winking.
No.
Don't steal it.
Anyway.
Buy it legit.
Any fucking way. I waited for this game to go down in price as I do with every game, and I got it at a reasonable price of $20.
That's respectable.
And I'm enjoying it. It's a Disgaea game. It's fun.
Sounds fun.
End of story. We've also...
Disgaea.
Last subject on the docket. Wrestling. We've been watching Lucha Underground a little bit.
Lucha!
Dario with his horns as he comes out.
Who?
Dario Cueto.
Not good on the names.
The manager.
Oh, the Vince McMahon.
The Vince McMahon of it.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy. He's really sleazy.
He's a businessman.
And he's Spanish.
But he's not Conan. If there's any one man that's evil.
Any one man that's evil.
Conan.
It is Conan. So says Vampiro, the patron saint of masterful wrestling commentary.
I don't know what that was on me.
It's fucking specters. He doesn't really do wrestling commentary as much as he just like has a conversation with the people next to him. And he just says things that come to mind. Like,
however he feels.
There's a attractive girl, and the other guy's talking about how anybody can come in.
Sexy star.
Anybody can come into Lucha Underground. Equal opportunity. And he says, she's a hottie, bro.
Proving it's not a man's world.
She's a hottie, bro. And then, like, he's talking about how it's equal opportunity. He says, it's equal opportunity, dog. And then he's trying to describe their surroundings, and he says, it's like a Freddy Krueger movie. Down in the boiler room. It's hot in here. And he's this fucking crazy man who's just saying shit. It's great. And the wrestling's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. It's good.
It is good.
As a non-wrestling fan, I enjoy Lucha Underground.
I have become much... Like, I've always been a wrestling fan. Not always, but... for a long time, I've been a wrestling fan. I think I've talked about that on recording before, of how... As a child, I wanted to watch wrestling, but my mom and my siblings all said that that's for white trash and you can't watch wrestling.
Well, half of that's true.
It is true. But then as I got older, I was like, hey, fuck you, I'm going to watch wrestling. So since then, I've been watching wrestling. But I've recently really gotten into New Japan Pro Wrestling with a friend of mine, and it is the best.
It's Japanese, it's automatically better.
Not automatically, but it is so much fucking better than WWE stuff. Like,
everything I see of the WWE and America stuff just looks kind of boring.
It's pretty boring.
It's like they're trying to be flashy, but they're not flashy enough for me.
The New Japan stuff is crazy flashy.
Characters.
They tell stories in the ring. They work limbs. The matches are stiff.
Better mechanics.
The mechanics are mostly the same. They're just doing it better. and
using the
mechanics better, and just being better at the sport of wrestling, like the physical aspect of what you have to do. And they're all like, all their moves are so much tighter, and they come out snappier, and they look like they fucking kill each other, because oftentimes they're just laying into each other. It's fan-fucking-tastic. We're watching through the 2013... We just finished the 2013 G1 Climax. And the G1 Climax is the tournament I described vaguely a while back, where you wrestle for points, and then at the end of like a 2-week to month-long period, all the points are tallied, and whoever has the 2 highest point counts will go into a match and wrestle for the main event of Wrestle Kingdom, which is their WrestleMania. It was super good, but then also after the G1 happens, that title shot, you have to defend it all the way to Wrestle Kingdom. So like, people will challenge you for your title shot, and you will have to defend that, and if they beat you, they're now the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. So you have to fight even after you get it. It's really cool, and these are all fucking fantastic matches. Bullet Club is only recently formed, and I am a huge Bullet Club mark.
Wait, only recently?
In the timeline where I'm at. In 2013, they had only recently formed. And they don't even have the iconic Bullet Club shirts yet, which I ordered one of. And I also ordered a Ryback water bottle, but that's for nobody.
How much was it?
It was $20. Oof. It's a half gallon.
Oof.
Whatever. It was an ironic purchase.
Okay.
It's Ryback.
Quote unquote ironic.
It is quote unquote ironic, but it is also ironic.
And in like a week, you'll be saying, I'm unironically loving the water from this Ryback bottle.
I am going to unironically love it because it's a water bottle, and I need a new water bottle. But then having this wrestler that's terrible. So it is ironic because Ryback...
It's like having a picture of Leprechaun on your water bottle.
Ryback is an awful wrestler. He's a power lifter, so he's like fucking huge muscle wise, and I'm not sure if he does roids. He might just be fucking insane.
Roid back.
And he left WWE because he went to Vince and he said he can be the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. He can be the next big guy, and he called himself the big guy. He's the big guy because he's big, and he's gonna be the big guy.
Wait, he's talking about himself in the third person?
Yeah, he says he's the big guy. And Vince did not believe him, rightfully.
Didn't believe him or didn't like him?
Didn't like or believe him. Because he injured people a lot. He's not good at wrestling. He's bad at it and does it poorly, and like cracked CM Punk's ribs a lot and like fucks people up in the ring. But he thinks he can be the next Stone Cold Steve Austin, the next John Cena, Ryback. And he left WWE. And he has like a self-help book, and
how'd that work out?
It's
Did
out.
He take his own advice?
I don't know, but he puts out terrible merch, including these terrible water bottles I bought with a cartoon version of him that looks like the Hulk,
right?
That says "Feed me more" on it, and it is
that's his catchphrase.
That's his catchphrase.
Feed me more.
Feed me more, because it's like, put more guys to fight me, apparently.
Well, I don't know which sentence was worse. Put more guys to fight me. Feed me more.
You know, you're right. It's fucking terrible.
Mail it in. Maybe he'll put that on a bottle.
Yeah, Ryback's not good. And I can't wait for my water bottle to get here so I can talk about how not good Ryback is.
Piss yellow.
My piss yellow water bottle with Ryback on it. I have gotten enough joy just out of the concept that it was worth the $20. I paid $20 for The Evil Within, and that was not worth $20. I didn't like that at all.
Scary game.
It's the spiritual successor to Resident Evil by Shinji Mikami.
Sounds like a sequel to Evil Dead.
And it's
prequel.
It's basically like mechanically just a much worse RE4. much worse.
Like, worse what?
As in, it's just not good. It doesn't control well. The levels aren't very interesting. The guns don't feel good to shoot. The story's all over the place and nonsense. I don't care about the characters.
It was like a Kinect game that was like horror.
You're thinking of shit. I know that game.
You're like on a train or something.
It's shit. I'll have to put that in the podcast, like a picture of it, because I know exactly what game you're talking about, but I don't remember the name of it. That game is apparently actually pretty good.
That you control with
the controls
emotions?
Are just the bad part is the thing. So
the controller.
Apparently there's some way you can control it with the controller, and it's a pretty solid game. I think they released like a new version of it that just enabled controllers. Might be a mod, I'm not sure. Could go either way on that. I heard people can play with the controller and it's pretty good. But I think that's bringing us to the end of this podcast.
See you next time.
Woo!
Oh, you're gonna end it on that?
What the fuck else?
I don't know, like an outro.
We don't got no fucking outro.
Any plans for another one?
Shit.
Next time, comedies.
No.
2000s teen comedies.
No, thank you. We will. I don't know if we're gonna do this like with much consistency. Maybe like once every couple weeks.
Kind of like how we're doing it right now, just every couple years.
I want more consistency than we have had for sure. I'm just not sure the podcast. This podcast specifically, we might do more in depth on a single movie that we just watched that we've done a couple times, or single franchises at a time. Like watch all of.
I like franchises.
I'm also really into franchises. So watch like a whole franchise and then talk about all of those movies over the course of an hour or so.
It's the thing you like, but then it's more of it.
Get really in depth on a franchise or a series or something like that.
Final Destination.
Sure, maybe
franchise.
Maybe Final Destination.
First one's really good.
Teaser.
What? Is that a franchise?
No.
Okay. I thought you were saying a new franchise.
No.
Frankenstein.
We got to get back to Harvester. I'm going to get that working.
Should watch I, Frankenstein.
We are not going to watch I, Frankenstein anytime soon.
It's the most anticipated episode of the SkullCast podcast.
It is never happening.
I, Frankenstein review.
The I, Frankenstein review is not happening.
Us, Frankenstein. We're doing it.
You, Frankenstein, because you, the viewer, should watch I, Frankenstein and then tell us about it. Reverse movie entertainment.
I can't just like say everything that happened in the movie.
Well, no, we're gonna watch it at some point. I don't know when though.
Let's put it in the queue.
It's in the queue. All right. That's it. Fuck you. I'll edit it.